Are you ready for some edible magic? Hey everybody, it's Wade with the Kingdom Report, back here with you for another Eat Disney Dining Review, and clearly I lost a bet to be singing to you, but it is a pleasure. Thank you for not immediately clicking off, but continuing to watch our video. Today we're at the Disneyland Resort, and more specifically, Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel, where it's Thanksgiving! Yeah, it's Thanksgiving Day! And on this particular Thanksgiving, it was raining cats and dogs outside. It was freezing outside, which is very unusual. Typically, our Thanksgivings consist of low 70s or upper 60s, very little rain, it's usually dry, but you see everybody trying to stay warm in the lobby and definitely hanging out in the Surfside Lounge area, just trying to get out of the rain. But today, we are heading on over to PCH Grill at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. You might know it for Donald Duck's Seaside Breakfast. Yeah, the breakfast buffet location. It's the same restaurant for Thanksgiving dinner, and this was a place that I accidentally sort of stumbled across many years ago for Thanksgiving Day. As a location that is sort of tucked out of the way, I think a lot of folks forget about it, and this was one that was referred to me by the Disney reservation system because all the other locations were taken, and it said, you know, PCH Grill has a Thanksgiving dinner option, you should go there. So I decided to try it out many years ago, and this has become my new Thanksgiving spot. Quite frankly, one of my favorite go-tos for Thanksgiving dinner. I can usually always get a reservation if I book in September, and definitely always fly on in around 2 p.m., 2:30 in the afternoon, just so I get that dinner out of the way and I can go home and just sort of rest from all of the food intake and, you know, sleep it away, because that's what you do on Thanksgiving Day. But you see how busy the restaurant is, even at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They also filled in all the available space with extra tables and chairs, because Thanksgiving, obviously. Even take a look over here off to the far left. That's where characters usually pose for photos during breakfast. They've filled all that space up too, so no photo pass here during the Thanksgiving dinner experience, but there are characters at this Thanksgiving dinner, something to remember. But on a day like Thanksgiving, the real number one is the turkey, not necessarily the duck, as in Donald Duck, of course, because it is his restaurant, but this proves it. The real number one is the turkey. 15 people deep just to get to this buffet. It is so packed in here, and everybody was going up for food at the same time. But I would venture to guess that it would be like this at any buffet across Disneyland Resort property during peak meal times. Even though, again, it's only about 2 o'clock, things will get much worse later, and you will see that. Here at PCH Grill, something that I do appreciate is that they split their dish pans that they have up on the buffet in half so that they can offer more in terms of options for what you'd like to put on your plate. So you'll see this, I think, time and time again, where each dish pan is split down the middle, and they've got 2 different offerings. And also what I appreciate about PCH Grill is I've been coming here for about 6 years for this Thanksgiving dinner, is that they will get creative. They won't just stick with, your tried and true Thanksgiving dinner. While all those options will always be there, they also get creative with new options, right? They add variety each year, which is really nice, and it's always fun to take a look at what might be sort of a surprise in that regard. Mainly because when you do a Thanksgiving dinner over and over again, you kind of get used to the menu, you know what to expect, but when they provide you a new reason to come back and sort of new food options, not only do you get to try something different, you also get to photograph something different and say, yeah, look what I had on my Thanksgiving plate. It wasn't just the same old yams and turkey. No, we got to get creative here. And by the way, normal rules do not apply. It is Thanksgiving, so I'm going to pack up multiple plates throughout this review. You're going to see a lot of different food options, and that's why you already see 2 big old pieces of salmon on this plate. Every year, I look forward to not just the turkey, but the salmon at PCH Grill. It is one of my absolute favorite things to get on this holiday because they do it like nobody else at the Paradise Pier Hotel. And then, of course, to top everything off on this massively packed plate, my sweet potatoes, and topped with all of the ooey gooey marshmallows you could possibly want. In sitting down to the table, you'll notice first up these Brussels sprouts. This is something new that they got sort of creative with this year. The Brussels sprouts on this plate are phenomenal. Of all the things I went back multiple times for, Brussels sprouts ended up on my plate, I think, in all 3 visits. Yeah, I mean, that tells you. Those things are great. The pork loin, the carrots, the butter garlic mashed potatoes, which I so enjoy. They're kind of a Disney staple. And then, of course, you take a look at just a few pieces of turkey in there. I'll be back for more turkey later, but it's really about the salmon and my love for it. And this plate is beautiful. I had a great time. And as much as I love mashed potatoes, because it's sort of a Thanksgiving staple, right? You can't have your Thanksgiving dinner without mashed potatoes. I think that might be the only reason why I really got them this time around. I think of all the items on the plate, the mashed potatoes, while they're buttery and, certainly creamy and good, they just, of all the food, I could do without it. It's fine. I don't necessarily need the mashed potatoes. So I think if I was to forego anything on the plate moving forward, it'd be the mashed potatoes. Definitely diving into just the most plump salmon you will ever have. Again, I cannot sing its praises enough. Delicious. The sauce that they put on this is house made, and it makes you walk away going, how do I get my own bucket of that? And can you cook this salmon for me every day? Because I need it in my life. It's that good. And when it comes to the meats on any buffet, it is really hard to keep meat juicy and tasting delicious. I gotta tell you, when it comes down to the turkey on this buffet, maybe because it's moving so quickly and that's the one thing everybody wants most, juicy, glazed, delicious turkey that they have. There was gravy on it already and just made you go, yep, it's Thanksgiving and it's delicious. But these Brussels sprouts, they're covered in its own sort of glaze. There's bacon in here. There was some ricotta feta cheese mixed in. There was such a taste to this that is so hard to describe, because I cannot think of anything with a similar flavor palette. They got really creative with the Brussels sprouts, and I'll eat my vegetables every single day if they taste like that. They made them perfect for even the pickiest of eaters. And then, of course, the sweet potatoes in gobs of just the gooey marshmallows. Always a real treat and a perfect way to delve into a Thanksgiving meal, because these always make me think of home. These always make me think of dinner with my family, who are up in Northern California. They are about 400 miles away, so this is the whole reason why I come to a Thanksgiving dinner at Disney. It's because all my family is located so far away, and typically on Thanksgiving, I'm not able to get to them. But in enjoying the rest of Thanksgiving dinner here, the cranberry stuffing, so good. A very nice take on stuffing, and it's got the savory and the sweet, both with the super salty stuffing, and then of course the little blasts of cranberry in between. And then these carrots, right? Now, so I told you, mashed potatoes, maybe something I'd get rid of on, a future plate to make more room for things like delicious carrots. Yeah, those are also very buttery and delicious. You take yourself a look at Minnie Mouse there, one of the many characters that came to visit during our meal in her lifeguard attire, because that's not weird on Thanksgiving, right? Unless she's going to do mouth-to-mouth because I choke because I'm eating so much, but it's great to have a lifeguard nearby no matter what. It was raining a lot outside, so maybe she was there to save anybody that might be drowning outside. I don't know. But it was great to have Minnie stop by. The turkey again. So this time I got the white meat, the greater slabs of turkey. And again, juicy and ready for consumption. Just perfect. And the wild rice, always good with the cranberries mixed in, but I would say if I was to make room for something else, this might get the boot. It's just rice and cranberries, nothing too big, nothing too great. But this mac and cheese came from the kids buffet, and if you've ever had Disney mac and cheese from a kids buffet, you know that it is life, you know that it gives you life, and you know that there's nothing better than kids mac and cheese at a Disney buffet. The man himself, Mr. Number One, Donald Duck, stopped by in all of his beach attire because he is so cool. Yes, he is. Look at that straw hat. Again, it's Thanksgiving, so the theme is kept with the restaurant and nothing more. But the kids' buffet had some Bananas Fosters on it. You had some green beans, that mac and cheese, as I mentioned. Then, of course, a turkey slider, sweet potato tots, and then a butternut squash bisque also was on the kids' buffet, and certainly something that I was going to be trying. And let's be honest here. I think when it comes to a Disney buffet, which always tends to have a kids version somewhere nearby, the kids version of a Disney buffet always has something on it that I just can't resist, right? Like, I'm sure there are more people out there than just me that go for that kids buffet and at least have one or two items off of it and say, yeah, no, this is for me too. So, in what I grabbed from kids buffet is definitely the turkey slider. I wanted to try it out just to see what that was like. Inside, you've got your slabs of turkey, and then it's on a little bed of stuffing, so that cranberry stuffing I was talking about, just on your little toasted roll. Yep, it's nothing too grand, nothing too spectacular. And I will tell you that in taking a bite out of it, it's pretty forgettable, very bland, and kind of lame by traditional standards. Went with more slabs of turkey after that. Then your sweet potato tots. These are so good. There's such a sweetness to them. I ate every single one, and yes, they're fried. And then our delicious chickpea salad, served chilled. This was very nice, very refreshing. I got looked at by everybody at my table who said, "Why are you wasting your time on salad?" And I said, "No, I concur, but I wanted to try it just to make sure that it was as good as it looked." And guess what? It was. And then, of course, a Disney chicken nugget, because that's important too. And who else is important? Pluto is. He's such a good dog. Yes, you are. That's my Pluto. Yes. I was so happy he could stop by. And then I went for the butternut squash. You gotta love this. That's right, the butternut squash soup was not only sweeter than I had realized, but also quite lighter than I had anticipated. I guess I expected something a little bit thicker, but it was very good. Stitch dropped by, the coolest alien this side of Christmas, to create a little mischief like he usually does. Always have fun interactions wherever Stitch goes. And then, when I headed back up to the buffet, turned around, saw the dessert corner and the vanilla chocolate soft serve machine. You can make your own sort of ice cream sundaes over there. And then I turned my sights on all of the different varieties of desserts that they had for Thanksgiving dinner. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, as they say, because there were so many options, so many things to choose from. And I thought, my gosh, I just don't know. I just don't know if I can handle it. I mean, look, mini pecan pies. Look at all of these different options, all of these different desserts. I just don't think I can go on after eating so many plates of Thanksgiving dinner. But then I remembered something. I remembered who I was, and I grabbed one of each of the desserts that I could find on that buffet. I said, the rules are thrown out. It's Thanksgiving. So I brought back each dessert I could find and went for it. I mean, look at how beautiful this plate turned out to be in the long run. I'm a little disappointed there weren't individual pumpkin pies like they have had in recent years, but dare I say, the replacement, which is right here, this is the pumpkin cheesecake, little mini pumpkin cheesecake. It's better than the individual pumpkin pies, and I did not expect it to be so much better, but it was. And then this little chocolate parfait that I ended up enjoying as soon as I could get my spoon out of it because it was so thick and difficult, turned out to be quite satisfying. Very sweet, very much like it looks, just fudgy and chocolatey, sort of had a cake interior, which was very nice, very delicious, like a giant chocolate cake, basically. But then we moved over to what might be the lowest point on the dessert options here, and that is this sort of key lime parfait, key lime pie cup. There was kind of a cake bottom to it, so I'll say key lime pie cup. It was very blah. Just not good, didn't pack the tarty punch that I expected it to. I took one bite, kind of gave a grimace, and tossed it to the side. Then I went after this mango-y peach parfait. Much better, much more delicious, exactly as to be expected when you think of mango peach yogurt parfait, sort of this vanilla in between. Very good, and very mild for the flavor palette of all of the desserts. Then dived on over to my lemon meringue pie, right? My little tiny lemon meringue. This was the tarty punch I was looking for. Now, this gave me the kick that I was expecting, and was also something that I thought, all right, I could have another one of those and feel good about myself. Then when I went after this pecan pie, right, the little pecan pie, perhaps the very best thing next to the pumpkin cheesecake that was on the plate was right here. So good! And I could have had more of these if I didn't have one of every dessert. And then located in the middle there, the strawberry, and I didn't get the name of this, so I went back and looked, and it was already removed, so not necessarily sure what it was, but it was like a strawberry parfait. There was a little bit of cake involved. It almost tasted like maybe something like with a flan consistency. It was okay. I mean, it was very strawberry-esque, and that was about all I can say. Final verdict is $121.43 when it comes to that price tag for my party of two. The lovely lady that I was with did describe this as worth it, even though the price tag goes up every year for us. It is still something that we decide to do because it's worth it on a holiday. And you see the crowds arriving just before 4 p.m. We got in just in time, even though it was busy while we were there. Don't take away anything from that. It was quite busy. I'll say some of the reasons to visit. Definitely ease of reservation. It's always easy to get a reservation here because it's the last place people think of. I mean, until it's raining outside and they all come running in, but it's the last place people think of for Thanksgiving dinner. The food is creative every year, which I really appreciate. They're not set in stone with the same menu over and over again, and the cast members in this environment really do treat you like family. They are wonderful, and I celebrate the way that they make us feel on Thanksgiving, especially when they are taking time away from their family. Reasons to skip might just be the character dining part of it. Yep, characters are very intrusive here. I mean, in a good way, of course, but certainly if that's something that you don't like, keep that in mind. This hotel is also located in the far reaches of the resort, so very far away, so trying to get here can sometimes be a problem. But my overall grade, Kingdom Report Card Time, is a solid B. For what it is, the food is fantastic, the cast members are great, the experience overall is always a treat, and it has become quite a tradition for me. I say, definitely do it. If you want us to become a tradition for you, might I suggest clicking that subscribe button, turning on notifications. We have new content for you every Tuesday and Thursday, and of course, our live show every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. We look forward to joining you for more dining reviews in the very near future from Disneyland Resort and the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. Thanks so much for dining with me. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Wade Heath.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.